What on guys, Commander here, and welcome to a new video doing a first impressions and opinions review on the Count Dooku update, or the Darth Tyrannus update as it's officially known. Now, as you can see, we have got Count Dooku into the game. The next update for Battlefront 2 has officially dropped. It was just an hour, well, as of recording this, it's a couple of hours ago. You'll probably watch this on the next day afterwards, because it's probably when I get a chance to upload it. But I'm just going to do this. It's going to go into two parts. So the first part is just me going over what I think of Count Dooku's model and his appearances and his emotes. The next part is going to be me doing a review of how Count Dooku plays with gameplay. But that's going to be with the audio recorded separately, because I have a really bad habit where I can't play a game effectively and talk about it at the same time. So that's going to be something separate. It's all going to be the same video because it'll be later on, you'll be watching this, but I'll be doing that separately. So first things first, I know I haven't unlocked any of these heroes yet, so Obi-Wan, Grievous or Dooku. I don't really play on PC that much. I just use PC for like mods and whatnot. I mean, I play online occasionally, but I only really use it for mods. Hence why I haven't got very many credits. On Xbox, I've got like, I think I got like 230 credits or something like that. So, but if we just go and just inspect Dooku just as itself, he looks so similar to Christopher Lee. It's actually unbelievable. Like, I mentioned in the last episode, in the last first impressions opinions review that I did, where I reviewed the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Geonosis update, how Obi-Wan looked really like weird. Now if I go, I'll show you what I mean. Now if I go to Obi-Wan, he doesn't look quite right. I made that point proven when I proved that point when I will prove that point. It's not actually up as of yet. It'll be up soon. I've recorded a Battlefront 2 mod review, a 3-part mod review, and one of them is a Obi-Wan Kenobi retouch mod. And you can see in that exactly what I mean by Obi-Wan's a bit doesn't look quite right. He looks so much better in that retouch mod. But that isn't quite up yet. It'll be up soon. But I record all my videos in advance, like by about like a month in advance, so they are going to be they'll be up soon. But you'll understand what I mean by that. But just look, even his hair looks really like realistic, if that makes sense. His facial features, like the only thing that I could suggest that I would think that a mod would do extra with this is just reshade the face a little bit, but I don't think that needs any like retouch. What I'll do is I'll keep it like this for the moment, and I'll stick either on the left hand or the right hand side a photo of Christopher Lee as Count Dooku, and actually I'll do it so it's like this. So either on the right or the left side there'll be a picture of Christopher Lee as Count Dooku, and just see how similar they look. You know, the moustache and the beard connected up to the hair is brilliant. You know, I can't even explain how good that actually looks. If I just go down here a minute, you know, even his like clothing, I'm using the wrong button on my mouse. You know, even the textures of the clothing look absolutely brilliant. His lightsaber looks absolutely like stunning. That's actually really good. Notice some of there, his thumb actually goes into his lightsaber, but I'm not too bothered about that. His boots look good. They're actually boots now, and not like Darth Vader where it's just like cloth. There's some I don't know why, but EA does a bit lazy when they do hands on these characters. I don't know why it is. You know, Obi-Wan's hands don't look quite right. I don't know. They do so much detail on the like you can see here, his thumb just goes straight through the lightsaber hilt. They're good with like the facial features and the bits like everybody wants them to be good at, but the hands are a bit lazy. But I'm not too particularly fussed about that. But his cape, look, that actually looks really cool. Like texture-wise, you can actually see that it looks like cloth. I do apologize if you can hear my dog barking in the background. So enough of me examining Count Dooku's body. Let's go and have a look at his emotes.
I've been looking forward to this.
Now, something though, this is a, first of all, I love that stance. That stance looks really, really cool.
Been looking forward to this.
But, what I like, and this is going to be a thing that's going to go, that's gone from Obi-Wan to Dooku and then to Anakin, is that they've used the models, they've modeled it like in the films, but they used the voice actors of the ones in the Clone Wars. Now, Count Dooku they had to, because Christopher Lee is not alive anymore, so they had to use, I can't remember what the actor in the Clone Wars was called, because Christopher Lee used to be the voice actor of Count Dooku in the Clone Wars, and then it got changed to somebody else. I can't remember for the life of me who it was, but it sounds, you know, it's really, really cool. I really do like it. And what have we got here?
I've become more powerful than any Jedi. The Sith control everything. Brave but foolish.
This one.
The Sith control everything.
The one that says the Sith control everything. I really thought they could have fit the full line in there.
The Sith control everything.
I think it should have been the Sith control everything, you just don't know it, exactly as it is in the Clone Wars. I don't think they should have taken that line, that extra bit out.
Control everything.
I think it should have just been. I think it should have just left it as the Sith control everything, you just don't know it. I think that would have made that line, because that line, like General Grievous's emotes. I'll see if I can try and I'll find it a minute. Emotes. This one. Now that line, surrender and I promise you will die quickly, it's a line from the Clone Wars. Now I've studied that line in slow motion, and it's actually surrender and I promise you will die swiftly. Now I've got that one as an emote on my Xbox, and that every time I play it, that really bugs me because it's not right. And I think this is going to be another one of those emotes. Like this one, it's a really good emote.
Sith control everything.
But having that missed out bit of you just don't know it, I think that's going to really bug me. I don't know why. It's not like a bad emote, because it's a really good emote, and maybe the reason why it took too long was because the emote would have lasted too long. I don't know. But the fact that it's been cut short is going to really bug me. I don't know why. Let's have a look at his victory poses. I am superior, which is the default. I think that's good as a default appearance. I do like that as a default. You should reconsider. Okay, that's alright. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's alright. I'm impressed. Yeah, I saw this as a picture on Twitter. I can see, like, I thought, when I looked at the picture on Twitter, on Ben Walk's Twitter, I thought the Count Dooku had a glove on. It's not. Looking at it now, if I just go and inspect it a minute, it's not. The shadow has actually just made the hand darker. That's interesting. Let's just inspect. Go back to inspect. That's alright. That's not one of my most favourite ones in the world. Not worth the effort. That one's good. That one's good, I like that. So what have we got here? I'm superior, you should reconsider. I think I'm going to go... That one's number 1. That one's number 2. That one's number 3. And that one's number 4 of my best to worst. I think. That's how that order goes. I think I don't normally buy victory poses, but for Count Dooku on Xbox, I think I'm going to buy that one. Because that one looks really, really cool. I do like this. Let's just go and inspect a minute. Yeah, that does actually look really cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to buy that one on Xbox, because that looks really cool. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to... The video's going to cut to me playing as gameplay of Count Dooku, and I'll be back as sort of like different voices, essentially. So, I shall see you guys in literally just a cut of a video. Alright guys, so now we're into the actual gameplay of Count Dooku. Now, this is where the actual first impressions, opinions, original segments actually going to come in with what I liked about Dooku and what I didn't like about Dooku, but more about like the way he fights and the way he feels. Now, the first thing I'm going to go through is going to go through the things that I liked, and it's mainly just going to be comprised of his abilities and the way he fights. I'm also going to talk about his animations because I think his animations personally are really, really cool. But anyway, let's get on with what I liked. So first thing I liked is the electrocute ability. Now, when I looked at this on the patch notes and I looked at how they explained what it actually was, I thought to myself, this is going to be another Emperor Palpatine stun ability, and it's not going to work as intended. It's going to be really buggy. But actually, it's not as buggy as people, or me especially, thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to just be like one of those things where you stun the enemy, you go over to the enemy, then you attack the enemy. But it's not. That is sort of the case with heroes, obviously. I played a bit of HVV, and that is obviously the case of what. That's the ability that they're trying to get you to get across, if that makes sense. But playing infantry combat, as you can see, I was playing on Geonosis, and you'll see a bit of gameplay on the Death Star as well. And the electrocute ability, even on heavies to an extent, you can pretty much kill them with just that ability alone. And when you've got like a group of like 5 infantry units just stood there, use your electrocute ability, you can get a 5 kill streak straight off the bat. It's quite easy, especially when you've got your duelist ability active. It will get to that again in a second. But when you got those two activated, because the duelist ability gives you more damage to your self and the abilities that you use, your electrocute ability, you can kill a heavy at least with just one shot of your ability. And if you can get a heavy with your ability, all the other infantry classes who've got less health, you can kill them easily as well. So I like that electrocute ability. I liked it better than I thought I was going to. So yeah, sort of like, I think that's going to be my go-to ability to be used in Galactic Assault when I get into Galactic Assault and play Count Dooku in that game. I think that's going to be my go-to ability. As you can see me playing it, that's the ability that I use the most because of how useful it is. And to an extent, it's kind of OP, but it's not so OP that it's like game-breaking in a sense. Also, as far as this gameplay is concerned, I am playing using a Battlefront 2 mod, the 25 vs 25 arcade mod, because I tried playing arcade as of recording this yesterday when Count Dooku came out using vanilla arcade. 10v10 is not enough. You haven't got enough AI to show Count Dooku off properly. So you'll see in the Death Star update, I changed to go to the Death Star because the Death Star is a lot more compact, a lot smaller map, and all of your enemy AI are all like in close quarters, so I want to see how Count Dooku worked in close quarters combat, and you'll see by how I play him that in close quarters combat he's not very good. He's very much like, he's good, but if there's too many enemies in one area, you are not going to stand a chance because you can't deflect behind him. So, and because you got to wait for your abilities to respawn and will recharge, it does leave you in a very vulnerable position. So that's the reason why I did the gameplay like I did. So the next thing that I liked is, again, duelist ability. I mentioned this in the last point. The duelist ability, it's not like, it's a very typical kind of ability, but it's one that I think works very effectively in the sense that when, like, it's just a simple ability where it increases the damage done by your lightsaber and your attacks, and it reduces damage done to yourself. But because of all the other abilities that you've got, if you have duelist ability activated plus exposed weakness, which I think it sort of disorientates the enemy and makes him take more damage, plus your electrocute ability, which deals a lot of damage in itself, all those combined, if you have them all activated, you can easily take down a hero just on your own with all of those abilities activated in turn. Now, if you are going to do that, you have to do it in time correctly, because if you don't, the animations that that you need to go through to activate these abilities properly. If you don't do it, if you time it wrong, you could be put in a very vulnerable position with people trying to attack you, and you could potentially die quite easily. But if you time it correctly, then you can be a monster on that battlefield and take down a hero with relative ease. But the duelist ability, because it affects every part of how Count Dooku attacks, including his abilities, it makes it so much better and so much easier to go around and kill things. Like, if it didn't affect the electrocute ability or the exposed weakness ability, I could turn around and say, okay, it's just an average type of, Darth Vader Dark Lord type of ability, where he deals more damage with his lightsaber and he gains a bit more health, and so deals less damage. But because it affects the abilities as well, it's a little bit of a change, which is actually makes Count Dooku even more powerful. Now, on to the things I didn't like so much. In the topic of me explaining about how the duelist ability makes exposed weakness and the electrocute ability that much more better, the one ability that I really don't like is the exposed weakness. And the only reason why I don't like the exposed weakness is, as an ability, it is really, really good. It works really well and disorientating players and making them easy to kill. I was playing some HVV. I haven't got the gameplay to show you because I was playing offline on my own. On my Xbox. But as on a hero, especially like blaster heroes like Han Solo, Lando, Chewbacca, etc., exposed weakness works really well. But because you're only able to use this ability on single enemies, like the most I've ever had affected by one exposed weakness use is only 2 infantry units. I've not got 2 heroes used for. I haven't played Galactic Assault, so I wouldn't know if it's any different on Galactic Assault. But if it's not, exposed weakness, because you only affect a small number of players because the range is so small. I'm not sure if the star cards make the range any bigger, but because you're only able to use the exposed weakness on a small number of enemy players, it makes it not very effective unless you're going up against a hero. The only way that exposed weakness is very useful is when it's either when you've got all the abilities all together being used all at once, and then it's useful against infantries, but also only when you're fighting up against heroes is the main one that is very useful for. You find against infantry, you may as well just not use it, because the animation that you need to go through to get exposed weakness activated, there's no point in getting that to activate properly, because you're only going to affect just one enemy player that you're going to be able to kill quite relatively easily. So that's the one. It's not a bad ability, but it's because the effect radius of who can be affected by it is so small, it's not as good as it possibly could be. Now the next point, now this is sort of like a 2-point in one essentially, is the fighting animations. Now I said at the start, Count Dooku's animations are absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love Count Dooku's animations. They look really, really good. And I think they're really represented as how he fights in the Clone Wars and in the movies. But the problem is, now fighting against infantries and large numbers of infantries is not a problem. You can slay down a large group of infantry players with relative ease, and with your abilities you are like a tank essentially. So you can use your duelist, you can take down 5 enemies, use your electrocute and take out another large group of enemies in one use of an ability, finish off the players behind you. So as far as fighting infantry, it's not a problem. What I've noticed in HVV, not that Count Dooku is a bad player in HVV, because he is really good. I managed to get a 5 kill streak as him playing on HVV once. But because his lightsaber swings are so, like, up in the air in a sense, like, they're not swinging from side to side, they go up, down, diagonally sort of thing, and because he's got a curved lightsaber and that's how he fights in the movies, But because that's the case, especially fighting against heroes like Yoda and Rey or Luke Skywalker, it makes it increasingly harder because he's swinging upwards and you have to wait until the action goes downwards, especially with Yoda. Yoda's the biggest pain in the bum that I found while I was playing HVV. You have to wait until he swings down to actually hit Yoda, and while that's happening, Yoda's jumping about, hitting you about 5 times in the space that you can hit him twice. And I've lost a lot of battles against Yoda in HVV because of the fact that there's not enough swings that can accommodate small characters like Yoda. Now, the only good thing about that is that because Yoda's the only small character there, if all you need to do is keep out of his way and you will be fine. But it's just a pain in the backside that is the way it is, and it's not bad, it's just irritating. So and it's only like, it's not like a major problem that I think needs to be changed, but if they could add a little like fix to make that increasingly a bit more better, then that would be good. But I haven't found any bugs or anything with Count Dooku. There might be like little ones here and there that people experience, like his abilities don't work or something. I found something, I found there's a bug in the patch notes saying that Rey and Obi-Wan don't get affected by Count Dooku's electrocute ability or something like that. I haven't come across that yet while playing HVV when I'm playing Galactic Assault, because I haven't played that yet. But there's no bugs there. General Grievous, when General Grievous was released, that was a nightmare as far as bugs were concerned. You barely couldn't use him apart from in HVV because he was so buggy. But Count Dooku, he wasn't very buggy at all, if at all. There might be a couple cases where I try and swing and he doesn't swing, but that's just something that because how I play is I pressed both the triggers to block and attack at the same time because I find it works really well against lightsaber heroes. But that might just be my muck-up, but that's how I think. That's the thing that I think is like not so good. So that is what we have time for in this Let's Play video here. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for more awesome gaming content. Next month, so the month of February, I'll be doing a review on Anakin Skywalker when he comes out, and the new large-scale game mode and whatnot. But I'm not going to do it all in one video. I'm going to do a few separate videos. So the large-scale game mode is going to be one video. Anakin Skywalker is going to be another one. I might do one on the clone appearances. I don't really think it's necessary, but I will have a go. If I think I might do that in with Anakin Skywalker, maybe, I don't know. But and whatever else comes with it, I can't exactly remember what else comes with it. But if any other skins come, I'll probably have to go reviewing those in the episode that's coming. This is uploaded on a Thursday next month in February, sometime in the early February. I've got a video doing, like I said earlier, the 3 skin mods. But when I do that, I will explain a little bit about how what I think about the Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Knight skin, General Kenobi skin. So that's coming in the future for you to look forward to. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I shall see you all later. Bye!